Alright guys, so my last video, couldn't figure out why the diesel heater was running, thought I had it going. I had it fired up a couple times. I had a couple really cold mornings right before work. So we did a lot of testing on it, couldn't figure out what was wrong with it, and then I was going through the controller and noticed that there was a large voltage drop that was coming from, well, I don't know where it's coming from. We figured it was the fan that was giving me grief. And I changed every other part that was wrong with it, and I couldn't seem to fix it. So I ended up going on Amazon, and instead of just ordering a new fan, which we think it is, and it getting here and it not working, I just ended up ordering a new one. So it's here. Open that up, see what's all inside, and then we'll get it, hopefully get it installed. I'm putting it in a different spot though, so wait and see. Okay, so here's everything we got. Just everything out of the box. Got exhaust pipe, your venting pipe, the actual vent, the mounting plate. You would cut a hole bigger than this, and you mount this to the surface that you're mounting to. Then your intake pipe, some zip ties, 10-liter fuel tank. Probably not going to use that one. The other one's already on. The new controller, which is a little messed up now because they have a different end on it. So I gotta figure that one out. All your fittings, hose clamps, screws, fuel filter, little mount for your exhaust, muffler and the screws for the fuel tank. Doesn't do much as a muffler. New fuel pump, the rubber mounting for the fuel pump, whole bunch of fuel line, new wiring harness for it, and of course the new heater. Okay, definitely haven't been in here in a couple days. I'm staying at some family's place in the meantime. It is now, well, it says it's -8 in here, -10 outside. It's definitely a lot colder than that. It was down to, I think, -18 this morning. Well, right now it was about -8 degrees Celsius out today, or tonight. By the weekend, it's supposed, with the wind chill, it's supposed to get to about -40. So I'm gonna try and get this thing in before the weekend, and I'm gonna have a little bit of heater help from the electric heater. So my plan is, with the new heater installed, I want to take it from down under where you guys know it is. I want to remove the heater from here because I think part of the reason why the fan maybe burnt itself out is because they say you're supposed to have about a minimum of 2 inches from that intake to a surface, and that's cutting it really, really close. So, well, one, I'm going to remove it from there, and what I want to do is I want to put it where the old propane furnace was, way back in there, because in that way it's 100% out of the way. There's already a hole cut for the exhaust, and well, I don't need like 6 feet of exhaust running from basically all the way from here all the way to the back of the camper, all the way outside. So it was really, I think that was also hard on it too. When I first put it in, I just needed it to work, and it's been working ever since. But ever since I put the really long exhaust on it and started using it more full time, I've been having problems. So I'm going to shorten everything up. The only thing that's going to be a little longer is the fuel line, which it should be okay. I'm only adding a couple feet anyways. Other than that, I want to run the vent from where the diesel heater is inside of here down the gap in here, and then put a vent down here. That way it just blows it out. Everything can just radiate up from there. So I'll get everything cleaned out from that bottom compartment and see how quickly I can get this install done. Might not get it all done tonight. If not, get it done tomorrow after work. Okay, so I'll get everything else cleaned out. Put a bunch of water bottles and stuff under here. I'm kind of using it as a, well, just random storage. So get all this stuff pulled out. Maybe I want some water. So the only thing I really got to consider is I have a propane line standing way in the back, and where that silver piece is where the vent for the old propane one used to go, so I just got to be careful on how I'm running this. I don't want to get anything hot or anything, so if anything I'll have to build just a heat shroud. So here's the inside. I think this is how I'm gonna end up doing it. Originally I was gonna mount it up a little bit, because behind that silver piece is the grating for the old propane heater, and I was gonna just lift it up just a bit, that way it could go down and out. And then I got looking more, and that wing of the camper actually extends out a long ways. So what I'm thinking is I'm gonna go down through the bottom, that way everything just kind of hangs there really nice. I can get everything kind of looking half decent. If I got to build a little shroud for it so I protect it from rocks or slush or whatever, at least it's kind of out of the way. So I think that's what's going to be my final position for it. The other idea for the venting was I was going to run it down this side and just have it come into a little vent and have an actual register here. That way the fins kind of point out all over the place and disperse the heat evenly, instead of just a normal turnstile like I had before. If anything, if I really don't like that, I can mount it here. I can shove the venting down. I can mount it here. I can do it up top. I can really go wherever I want with it. So we'll see how it goes. I wasn't able to get it done yesterday. It is now -14. That was a good idea. It's -14 outside, and get my holes drilled here, and get the plate screwed down, get the diesel heater bolted to that. That way I can mount my exhaust that way, and my intake running this way. Get that all situated, and then run the fuel line to it. And then I'm just gonna get it loosely set up so I can get back in here. And then come the weekend, I'm gonna get everything kind of finalized, make it look nice and pretty and stuff. So let's go. So this is basically just how I have it marked out. I'm gonna drill 4 bigger holes with a hole saw. That way, when I drill them like this, I'll have lots of room underneath to be able to hook up the exhaust and the intake, and but just lots of room in there to get tools in it. That way, if I ever need to take it off, like beforehand, it'll just be a little bit easier, and there's less hassle and less fighting with everything. So okay. Oh, that's a thick floor. Oh, well, that was good. Oh, well, I may have did something by accident. Turns out that's there. Cut into it a bit. So I'm gonna have to weld that up. So once I get that, once I get this all done and set in here, I'm gonna have to get that fixed. As then I gotta lift the camper up, take that mount off, and weld it up. The hole is now drilled. Yeah, I kind of messed up on the one part there, but that's okay. Everything else should just mount up pretty nice. Shouldn't be too bad. This, I'll either A, have to get a new one, or B, weld it. But that's why you always check where you're drilling. I messed up. I don't normally do that. Guess I'm excited just to have heat again. Okay, I just got some of the components laid out for the heater. Just got some screws for mounting it. I think I'm probably going to use those. They'll be a little bit easier with the socket. These to mount the plate to the heater. And then just got the little fuel filter for it. A couple clamps for the exhaust. Hose clamps for the vents. These are for the intake and the exhaust, but I'm going to steal the exhaust clamp off of my other one because it's an actual exhaust clamp and not a hose clamp, so it'll hold it on there a little bit better. After that, run some new fuel line, and then get that wiring harness all kind of set out where she needs to be, and then I'll pop the controller on and get it running for tonight. Hopefully I can have heat in about an hour. Okay, got the 4 bolts mounted onto it. They were the ones with the finest threads with the non-self-tapping tip. So I'll put that on there. I'm going to put the exhaust onto here first and get that clamped on. That way I don't have to fight with it out of the truck. It's a little bit quicker for me today. And then get 4 screws on it, screw it down. I should probably run the fuel line, but I'm probably going to forget. So once I get these 4 mounted, I'll run the fuel line. I'm probably going to run it through here, and then just loop it back through, put it onto there, and I'll run the rest of the fuel line through the rest of the truck. Here's where I'm working with. Okay, so in the wiring harness, it's just 2 wires. This connects to the fuel pump, which I have to extend because it's a long ways to go from under there all the way around. And I'm going to leave the fuel pump. They were saying online on the forums for the diesel heaters to leave the pump closer to the tank. So the power and the ground, I have 12-volt power running for the fridge, so I'm just going to splice into that for that. And then, like I said, for the time being, until the weekend, until I'm off work and I have a couple more hours to work on this, I'm going to just run the controller just up top and just let it sit here for now. This 1 hour install went from 1 hour to about 3. Okay, so I got the power in the ground just trimmed up. Got the fuel pump wire ran, and the fuel line ran all the way down, around, down through all that mess, come through and hook it to the fuel pump. Just like I said, using the old fuel pump. I'm going to leave the old fuel filter for now. I just want to get this thing up and going for now. I'll clean it up after. This was the power that I had from my 12-volt for the fridge, but it draws way too much power for me to want to even use it on 12 volts, so I'm not gonna. And basically, if I'm ever hooked up to power, I'll just run it on 110. So I'm gonna steal those wires from the fridge, and if I ever need to put 12 volts to a fridge, I'll just run new wires. It won't take me too long. Get this wired up, and then just basically screw the heater down, prime the lines, and okay, so got the heater, the intake, exhaust, the plug that already comes on the heater. I just got everything pre-mounted on it because I think it'll be easier for my situation. For most people it might not be. I've got all the wiring rigged up for now. It's gonna get cleaned up later, but I want this in now, so I'll shove everything through, get everything on there, and start priming the lines, I guess. Okay, so after a long couple hours, after running all the wires, all the fuel line, like I said, I was just going to put the controller up on there for now. First fire up of the heater. It's a mess, but I have heat, so see how far it ramps up, and after that clean up and go to bed. Well guys, it seems to be it for the diesel heater install. I got heat again, so that's a good thing. Just a lot of cleaning up to do, and then go in, shower, and go on to work. Everything should be good to go for now. It's not the install I wanted, but the install I'm going to get for now. So over the next couple days, I'll keep looking at it. I'll clean everything up. It's pretty ghetto with how I have everything in here, but like it's not permanently mounted, and it's in there. It'll work for now. I'll keep it this way for the short time being, and I'll slowly pick at it and keep on cleaning. Let's see what breaks next.